Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 21 of What If Naruto was put through hell and adopted by the Raikage. Remember to share all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and check out Anime King and Anime King 3. Yes, you heard that correctly. I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what you fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. And also, go ahead and click those or subscribe button and click that bell notification to see exactly when I post. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we stop wasting so much time and get right into this? Start the intro. So, the last part that we left off. As Kushina assaulted Gaara, Gaara did not stand a chance even though he tried to transform. As Kushina, the chakra inside of her was going berserk, her hand transformed demonically as she was ripping and smashing Gaara down. She was about to kill him but Tamaru and Kankuro jumped in the way as Kankuro told Tamaru to run with Gaara as he stayed behind as Kushina went berserk. Meanwhile, as Orochimaru brought out the Edo Tenseis, as Minato was facing off against them, Hiruzen was pissed as he found out what happened. What Minato did, as Minato thought that he was a hero in all of this, as Hiruzen was violent. As Naruto called down the lightning, him and Kuro mixed their affinity and brought down a hailstorm that obliterated the Kages. As the Raikage saw the amount of power that Naruto now possessed, it was beyond incredible. As Minato was subdued by the envoys that came there, by the 5th Hokage Danzo Shimura, him and Kushina were taken down, and they were locked up. And thus, the war on Konoha ended, and Naruto was given free rein to go home, as a bargaining chip between Kumo and Konoha. Danzo then found out some stressing news. Minato escaped along with Kushina, and Yamato was gone as well. As Naruto and the others made their way on their trip back home, as they saw the Navy rushing towards Konoha as she had to be stopped. When they saw Naruto, she was happy as she hugged him so tight as Yujito was going there to rescue him after hearing what Yuro had said to her. As everything was back to normal now as Naruto was back and the Raikage believed that it was time that he became Chunin after what he saw there. Naruto was beyond incredible, and they were also wondering why he grew so much, and not to mention he looked quite older. As Naruto told him what happened with Hero Water, they had to pass through the land of spring first. As they made their way, they stayed at Koyoki for the night, given the fact that she signed an alliance between her village and Kumo. Meanwhile, Sakura was at the village, as Yuji was pissed off. As Hayate was in bad shape, Minato had appeared and took her newborn baby. Hayate had tried to fight him, but yet, that monster attacked Hayate. As Sakura's eyes went wide, it was the Hokage's wife. As her baby was now gone, Minato had a plan though as he made his way. Meanwhile, something was off, but Naruto was tired, as seals were over the room as the bed was quite warm and comfortable. As the guard there was no longer the one that was supposed to be there. It was then that Darui felt it. And see, something was off. Naruto was gone as Yura quickly went towards his father to try and see if his father could summon Naruto before he had to make his way to Kumo. But Naruto was gone, he was taken by Minato, as Yujito started lost it as they all had to calm her down. As she couldn't bear with this again, he was taken once again. The Raikage and the others had to get back to Kumo quickly, seeing that Kuro was making his way there and they were hoping that he could resummon Naruto, because he had no idea where he was, and with that blasted jutsu that Minato had, it was hard to find him. So yeah guys, that's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place, check out for yourself so to be in this new episode. We begin this episode with the hidden sound. I want to train with strong people to get strong. Damn, what a cliche phrase, said Samara, as she recalled the words of the Uchiha, strolling around the Stone village, like he was some sort of god, before she had closed him into a barrel and delivered him to Kabuto. Hey, Samara-chan, you think I can meet your brother again? Karen asks. Maybe, said Samara. But still, he's my brother, you know. I'm sure that he got a lot of scars from what happened to him. From what those monsters did to him back there. As Karen mutters something. What did you say? Asked Samara. Nothing, Samara-chan. No, repeat, Samara said as she was reaching for her ninjato. Oh, I said I would nurse him back to health, but that would be a waste of time because he got his sister to help him. Oh, as Samara nodded with a smile. As Karen had to watch her mouth as she forgot how much this girl's mind has been tampered with by Orochimaru and Kabuto. Still, Karen couldn't help think about Naruto. After she saw what he did, his chakra, it was just so... It was amazing. As her nose started to leak blood as she stood there in a half-hazy dream. There was no need to bring Sasuke with its own four. Samara and Karen's words had worked wonders on him, as he had come to them with his own regards, given the fact that Konoha was still in a bit of disarray. So their new mission was to stop the group that was with the Raikage and kidnap Naruto for Orochimaru causes, a mission they failed to complete because the group had no trace of Naruto with them. And Orochimaru was pissed off at that. Teiwai-chan, another, par 3 please, said Samara. As the Zone 4 was demoted, given their failure of a mission, but they couldn't really do anything about it. After all, Naruto wasn't there, but Orochimaru was just pissed off. Teiwai was pissed as she brought the thing over, as she was in a pink, mid outfit. She cursed so much swear words. They were not exactly in the village of Sound, they were at the border, the outskirts. As it was a shop, people stopped by to refresh themselves and get something to eat, but they all started to fall asleep as it was toxin in the food. To put them to sleep, Orochimaru wanted test subjects. Hey Teiwai-chan, did you see Samara's brother? Asked Karen. Oh, that blonde guy in the black. Well, he's quite the hunk. A lot better than the crapper one here. I'm sure that he can go around her too. But maybe he'll be all flustered if I pick his... She couldn't get to finish sentence as he had to jump back, dodging a ninjato. No one touched my brother, understood? Samara said with rage. But you could share him though, said Karen, as she ducked on the table that was pelted in kunais. Hey, it's just a thought, sorry. I do not like suggestions, Samara said, as she looked up in the sky as she wondered, was her brother alright? Meanwhile, Naruto's location. I told you that it would work. As Minato looked towards Yamato, as the nearly naked boy was chained down with a sea-like pattern underneath him, with the red-haired woman sleeping to the side, who was in the prison outfit. Her right side was completely fur, as she had tapped into the demon inside of her, and it changed her body. A few feet away was a baby in a crib, with a similar ceiling pattern underneath the crib. Now let's get this over with, before she wakes up completely. The cave that they were in was black and dark and underground. Yamato nodded as he took his spot in a triangle formation. Meanwhile, Naruto opened his eyes in pain as he felt iron in his mouth. He felt something grabbing his gut, twisting it as it twirled. His hands had been chained and he felt weights on his body, rocks maybe, as he couldn't move. As he felt his chakra being sapped away, his insides were burning up and they were swelling. As a need over the past enough hours became unbearable. He tried everything to move but except the tingle of the chains. Nothing was working. Until he heard a voice. I smell Naruto-chan. Minato-kun, where's Naruto-chan? As Naruto heard that voice, but Danzo had put in the prison. Did they escape? He's coming. Go back to sleep. He'll be here soon, Kushina, said Minato. As Naruto could not say anything, his mouth was gagged. I heard something, Minato. Is Naruto-chan nearby? Kushina, trust me. Look at me. Naruto-chan will be coming, but you have to sleep some more, okay? That damn bastard, as Naruto cursed in his mind, but he couldn't say anything. As Naruto realized the woman was on top of him, but yet she didn't seem to notice that he was there. Alright, said Kushina as she went back to rest. As Naruto could not move, as he was thrown into his mindscape. He appeared to see the cage was completely ripped down. Only thing that was blocking him from the Kyuubi was his chains that surrounded him. Well, you got free, said Naruto. So it seems. Although my Yang chakra is moving to be absorbed by my Yin chakra, and then it will be absorbed into that baby soon. By the time the transfer is completed, you will probably die. Or maybe not. Maybe your Uzumaki vitality will keep you alive. I recall your mother survived my extraction, but she did have something that you do not possess, after all. The Kyuubi got up, her red-lined tails twirling around, as she looked towards Naruto with that saddened expression. Well, so I'm gonna die like this, because I went to sleep in a bed without being careful about my surroundings. There was Yujito, C, Father, B, Yuru. As Naruto's chain started to twirl, no he couldn't. He couldn't just die here after everything. Without ever seeing home, without ever going home after everything he's been through. No, he couldn't just die here. You spoke of enemy territory, boy, but you lack realization of one thing. The enemy can get into all territory. It does not matter where you rest or not. One moment of destruction has killed the very best shinobis of their time. And you are no exception, so today you will die. And I will get placed into another, sickening well. So I died today, huh? The fox nodded. Well, I'm sorry, said Naruto. Sorry? For what, the fox asked. For not freeing you. We had a deal, said Naruto. You know I respect my deals. As he bowed his head and apologized, I'm so sorry I wasn't able to free you. As the chains went into the ground. It doesn't matter anymore. I wasn't able to free you, so you might as well get a few good hits in, he said. As he had the summoning scroll in his hand, as he just lied down on the ground. The fox moved closer and sat down in front of the boy. Blue eyes met red eyes. Do you want to free me still? Naruto nodded. Just as the white snake sage said, you are interested in Naruto. Because the moment I had gotten my freedom, I would have went to Kumo and destroyed, just to teach you a lesson. I would have broken the deal first. Naruto did not much react to that, he just lied there. But you would probably fight me to a standstill. That is why you were training to keep your word. And prepare for its consequences. Well, it has been centuries since Madara Uchiha forced the Sharingan. Is so favorable Dojutsu out of me. He used strength and I gave him an incomplete version, unable to mature without loss, and sacrifice and blood. The very same things that he made me go through, I can offer you. A more complete, so-called version. It will need to grow, mind my words, it will need to grow. You will face many hard challenges because many will try and claim it once they get wind of it. But it will give you power. And in exchange for this power you will find me, and you will free me with it. But I'm going to die when you get extracted, said Naruto. Kurama simply laughed. Normally you would. Still, you're Uzumaki, and it was the third Hokage who sealed me inside of you. He made sure to leave something behind. The moment I leave your body, you will grow strong, boy. But remember my words, you are never out of enemy territory. So, can I count on your word? Kurama asked. Naruto bowed his head. I promise, Kurama-san, he said. I will find you, and I will free you, and nothing will stop me from this task. As the fox touched his head, as everything went dark. When Naruto looked around as he woke up, everything was dark. As he saw a man standing there, he was dressed in one of those old shinobi war gears, with a metal casket. I sealed some of my chakra in you, boy. If the moment I dread would ever come true, Danzo. If he believed that is making you a weapon has become worthless, and deemed to extract the fox from you, killing you. Because of that I placed inside your seal some yin and yang chakra, the same of the fox, that will make your heart start beat again, and hopefully your chakra coils will resume their work. It's a vain that you had to go through all that hell. It is something that saddens me greatly. For one so young to bear such a weight, I am ashamed of myself for having let this fall upon such frail shoulders. I'm sorry, boy. The message seemed pre-recorded because Naruto waved his hand in front of the man's face. But the man did not notice that he was just talking. But Danzo is not stupid. He will check for your life signs and probably kill you if he still finds you breathing afterwards. That is why the yin and yang chakra will be released in every 5 minutes interval. The more time you take, the lesser chance you have of surviving. However, hopefully, you will find a way out of this pause once you're awoken. May you find happiness, that much I pray for. With that, Naruto was swallowed by darkness once again. The transfer took 3 days. As all the demonic chakra from her body started to leave her, Kushina demonic chakra started to leave her, she fell asleep. Thanks to Yamato Mokitan and the crystal, as the fox power flew inside the infant. It's finished. Thank Kami, said Minato. As he looked towards the baby, it was Yujiro's baby, which she had taken. In her condition she had no, well, hope of fighting back. Hayate had tried, but Kushina had knocked him away, as she was rather protective of Naruto and Minato in her form. As he slowly made his way towards Kushina, who was on top of a bunch of chains, Yamato instead moved towards the baby, who had an 8-point seal on his stomach. It was a girl with bright hazel eyes, with purple hair, as he placed a crystal on her body, and lifted her up silently. As he checked Naruto's pulse, he's dead alright. Notifying Katsumi, the information was valid, as he picked up his wife in his arms, as he headed towards the sound, leaving behind a corpse in the cave. 25 minutes later, as Naruto's eyes snapped open, as he took several deep breaths, as everything was strangely in focus, everything was down to the sharpest point. As he closed his eyes, it was too much. When he reopened them, everything returned back normal. He felt thirsty, tired, he couldn't even move his legs. As he brought his hand up, as he threw it across his chest and bit it, before he performed a single seal, summoning jutsu, as he let his hand slam on the ground. As he cried in pain when he felt his coils tremble, but there was nothing but smoke. Chakra suppression seals were all around him. As he looked at the palm of his hand, feeling chakra exhaustion, something that he never ever felt before, he freed his left arm as he pushed against a hard rock, as he tried his best to get some leverage of some kind. His bones creaked as he removed the mountain of weight off him. He sweated that never before his sight grew hazy, but he could not give up. He could not be left alone here and let his injury get sapped away and die. Ujito must be worried about him, they all must. But Naruto made up his mind right there and then. Enemies should not live. No trial, nothing but death. As he dragged himself on the ground, biting his lip as the pain kept him awake. A final inch as his torso came clear as he pulled himself out of the metal blocks. The trees, all the shackles that kept him down, that bind him. He gasped for air as he lay on his back, as the cave water dripped on his face. He couldn't muster the strength to move anymore. Against all odds, against all hope, he closed his eyes, his normal blue eyes that had no dojutsu. His normal eyes. Not that he knew, how could he, without a mirror. As he heard the sounds of the cave, the dripping of water, everything was just so happy. His father was there, his big sister, everyone was there, laughing and happy, and then he lost them all in just a couple of hours. Tears started to leak from his eyes, as he felt terrible. There was no fox, Kurama was no longer there. Cursing at him, telling him to move on, telling him to get back his strength to pick himself up because he didn't want to die right here. There was nothing, absolute silence. In the darkness of a cave, alone he cried, as he fell asleep. Someone then found him and took him away from there. Kuro was making his way towards Kumo. The snake was crying because he could not reverse summon Naruto. It wasn't working. And if he couldn't summon Naruto, it only meant one thing. He was gone. As the clouds started to get dark, as rain started to pour down, as the place was crying, Kuro made the weather change as the giant snake cried. Meanwhile, at Konoha, Danzo was happy. He was Hokage. Everything was going fine and no one was messing his schedule up. As Danzo looked towards Yamato with the crib next to him. Well done, bird. Well done. Call her Saki and have her training begin as soon as she can stand. I trust everything went as planned. Yes, Hokage-sama. Namikaze thought that I was on his side and helping him and his wife. He accepted me because I told him how much it would benefit Konoha greatly to have the jinchuriki back, and that I believe in his ways, and that you, Hokage-sama, has taken his mantle. I offer him his wife's sanity and the location of his daughter as planned. He accepted eagerly. He did not care about his son's life. And I planted the idea for him to head to the Hidden Rain for refuge. Well done. Remember, with this child, I want no mistake like with Monster Con. There will be none, Danzo-sama, said Yamato. As Danzo nodded, as Yamato took the baby, as Danzo chuckled. Now, to play my part, I'll send some messengers to Kumo, telling them about Minato escape. Well, with his Harishin, he can move pretty quickly, and also try to look for Naruto. With that, Konoha will come out clean. Minato will be the unwilling scapegoat, and absolutely no one can link me to this kidnapping. I got it all. The position, the alliance, the Kyuubi. And without Minato, the stone will loosen up, and with him going towards rain to find his daughter, the stone will be wiped out. Danzo chuckled darkly, everything fall right in his hand. I will pass through the history as a kind-hearted Hokage that did everything for his village. The one to be hailed as a hero that created and did things that seem impossible, yet he did them all and protect his people. As the man laughed darkly, everything was perfect. As he made his way through the streets, people were moving around happily, as things had returned back to normal since the invasion a couple weeks ago. As he made his way to the park and sat down, as he watched the kids, people passed by and called him Hokage-sama with a smile. As Danzo tapped his finger on the bench as a root onfo appeared. As the man was in the bushes behind him, Hatake-san is distasteful, but he showed no signs of sympathy for his former sensei, especially since the news was leaked about the ex-Hokage treatment towards the jinchuriki. Danzo nodded as the operative continued. Midarashi-san is not intending on switching sides. It will be too troublesome with paperwork. May I speak freely, Danzo-sama? Danzo nodded. She packed dongos. 300 dongos for her trip. Well, it seems like she just had an unhealthy obsession with dongos. Haruna-san is working at the hospital and requested Tsunade Senju to be her teacher, and the woman has accepted. She has been trying to get into contact with you, Hokage-sama, to inquire on a need to write something to Naruto. She is fearing for her safety. Danzo nodded. Her fear will turn into doubt, into a powerful drive against leave enemies, with Tsunade teaching of the girl. That is all, Danzo-sama. As Danzo dismissed the boy, Naruto helped me in my position, and in death, he became one of the strongest allies of Konoha. For him to be honored, Kumo will go through great lengths to exact their revenge, but they will not soil his actions by attacking Konoha ever, because Naruto chose to help Konoha despite everything. But the boy should have known. The moment he became a worthless tool to me, I discarded him. As Danzo chuckled to himself, he was such a good boy. But he was gone now. Meanwhile, with Minato and Kushina, Minato had placed his wife down beside a tree to rest. As he reached for his satchel and gave Kushina some water, she was still unconscious, but she seemed so tired. And then they will go toward the sound to rescue their daughter. That damn boy, he knew that Katsumo was alive and that she was at the sound, and yet he didn't tell him anything. But now he was dead, and finally, he was gone. Minato had done the world a service, and he was sure about that. First, they will get Katsume back from Orochimaru. That blue-haired girl should have made his brain tick, but he did not. Orochimaru changed her in every way possible. And that damn boy had distracted him the entire time. He should have kicked his corpse or snapped his neck or something. But there was no point, the boy was dead. No pulse, no heartbeat. But still, he should have dropped the body next to them feral beasts, so they would chew upon it and make him suffer. As he heard a soft noise as he turned to see Kushina, her normal eyes looking at him. "My head is killing me," she said. "Minato, is the Kyuubi defeated?" she asked, as she got to her feet. But Minato had to catch her as she fell. "Aren't we in Konoha? What's going on? Hey, why do you look so old?" she said. "Honey." He had stopped being called that after Katsume had turned 5. "You don't remember?" asked Minato. "Remember what?" she asked. "What was the last thing you remember?" "Well, the masked man was coming. He killed yours and wife. Is he okay? What's going on, Minato? More importantly, where are we? Why aren't we in Konoha?" "I'll fill you in there." Time skip with Naruto. Pain. That was all that he felt. Pain coursing through his veins. He was exhausted and weakened. He had never suffered from so much shock or exhaustion symptom before. But that wasn't what was worrying him. He thought that Kuro had saved him, somehow. Because in his last moments before he completely lost consciousness, he heard something slithering. But why was he seeing white instead of black scales? "Ah, you're finally awake. I was thinking of feeding you to my young, to see if that would be more interesting than what you sleep." The giant white snake said as he slithered back to his throne, crushing the snakes under his weight that were in his path, not caring for them one bit. They were weak for not having moved faster. The strong would survive and eat them and become stronger. Naruto slowly got up if he stayed down. He had a good feeling that he would be eaten as well. This wasn't Kuro with his attitude, or Yuro or Sharu, or any of the other snakes. This was Hakusho-Sani, the white snake sage, and before the snake had allowed his little snakes to bite him all over. But this time, without the fox, would he survive? You're wondering why you're here, in my domain. As Naruto just want to leave alive. Well, if you wish to leave, you may. As Naruto blinked, was this thing reading his mind? No, I cannot. As a snake chuckled, toying with the boy was interesting. But I can sense your movements, your heartbeat. I see the air around you shiver and tremble. Do you not want power now that you lost the Kyuubi? As Naruto gulped, how the hell could he know that? You are interested, Naruto. And I want to see what changes you will bring with your power. What will you do with what I will offer you? However, you will not be able to leave this cave until you master all that I teach in you. And you will realize how my words were right and yours were wrong. The strong survive because they eat the weak. The weak die because they're too weak to protect themselves. So what are you? The strong or the weak? No, said Naruto. You dare to disagree with my words, boy. If you have a strong snake and a weak snake, and you train the weak snake until he becomes strong enough, the strong snake protects him. Then the weak will also become strong. The both of them will grow. The strong will grow by having someone to protect, and the weak will grow by his determination to get stronger. So you will have two strong snakes. The snake sage laughed at that, as the snake moved and slammed Naruto in the wall, wrapping his tail around him and started squeezing. That is stupid. Tell me you agree with me. No, said Naruto as the snake started crushing even more. Agree with me. No, Naruto yelled as the snake crushed his legs. Do you agree? He asked as he huddled right over Naruto, his fangs dripping venom. As Naruto felt he was gonna die. He wouldn't see anyone he loved anymore. He was gonna die right here and never go back home. But if he answered yes, he would betray all he was. Betray all of his principles. It was wrong. He didn't agree. Never. I know you're wrong, said Naruto. As the white snake sage crushed Naruto. From the tunnel, Manda hissed. Now, Orochimaru will have nothing to fear. Manda, what brings you to my throne room? The snake asked. Nothing, father. I just heard the screams. Is he your prey? He's nothing more than a bloody pulp on my scales now. I will hunt later. Do not kill which you do not eat, Manda. I will try, father, said Manda. What did you say? As Manda froze. I will do as you command, leader of us all. Yes, now go. As Manda left. The white snake sage then unfurled as he dropped Naruto on the ground. You've proven your resolve. It didn't matter what you answer. It's just to see how long you can stick into it. If you would survive, or if you would cry out and change your answer to please me. But no, you stick through it. As Naruto was surprised, the snake had just covered him, not crushed him completely, although his legs were a mess. As the snake then curled around him, I will teach you Senjutsu, but I will not be kind if you fail. You will turn into an animal, and if that were to happen, you will share the same fate as those lie scattered at your feet. As Naruto looked, there was hundreds of animals around here, all dead and eaten. As Naruto realized that he couldn't leave. As the snake then hissed, finally you understand. I am strong and I make the law that you cannot leave until you learn everything I'm willing to teach you. So, if you want to leave, you will have to become stronger. I'll leave this cave. Mark my words, said Naruto. I am Sanin Sama to you, Bloodstain. And with that he threw Naruto on the ground. Now, let us begin. Time skip. The Akatsuki main purpose is to capture all the Bijus, said Jiraiya, as he looked towards the Raikage. Once a jinchuriki is captured, it would take 3 days for the extraction to be completed. If Shinkansen saw black cloaks, red clothes on them, it means that Yujito is in grave danger. The Raikage pressed the button on his desk. Samui, have B and Deroi called, as Jiraiya was holding a flower bouquet in his hand. Have you come to bring him flowers? Asked the Raikage. Well, I can't shake off the guilt. Maybe if I had been a better godfather, maybe, if I was there, training better, you'd have stand a chance against that, said Jiraiya in anger, as the Raikage faces remained sorrowful. The 10th of October is coming around soon as well. You may be right. I'm just hoping that Yujito did not take the easy way out. That's the only day that she smiled upon remembering the fond memories of him. The Raikage shook his face. He let his hand pass through his hair. It's been 3 years. We knew when Kuro told us that day, but we didn't want to believe. But after so much time has passed, the months turned to years, and there's been 3 of them, and no sign. It is clear that he is no longer with us. And that place that we found, all that blood, the seals, they did the transfer there. The door opened slowly as B and Darui came inside. You call, bro, said B. Yujito has been captured, said the Raikage. She was doing a patrol with her squad around the eastern of Kumo. She was captured. Her team managed to scrub to safety, although badly hurt. Shinkansen ran all the way here to tell us before collapsing from his overuse of his swift release. Do we got anything on the kidnappers? Asked Darui. They call themselves the Akatsuki. They kidnapped jinchuriki to steal their bijus. B stiffened a bit at that. It takes 3 days to finish the extraction. After that, the host dies. We should get see for this as well, said Darui. But look on Raikage's face. Tell Darui what you need to know. C was one of the best sensory ninjas. But after what happened to Naruto, and him being there and unable to find out that the boy was in trouble, it kind of broke him, as he started to take the highway of hell for all ninjas, S-rank solo missions. But he had yet to fail. He was still alive. He's on another one. He has completed over 100 of them in the past 30 years. I can't contact him until he returns, said the Raikage. B clapped his hands together. We got no time to mope. We have to keep up the hope. Now let's move out and find the cat. I'll shake my spine court until we find a lead. Hopefully, we find a face or something, said Jiraiya. And with that, he left. As he made his way towards Ichoko Ramen in the village of Kumo. Jiraiya-san, please come in, said Toki, as there was a seat there that was reserved. But Jiraiya never sat on that one, as he sat down to the side. Hey Toki-san, how's life treating you? Toki smiled as he took Jiraiya's order. All is fine in the beginning. It was fun seeing how people thought that ramen tasted bitter. Hakeya could have just asked about the secret ingredient, you know? It wasn't much of a secret, as he chuckled softly, as Ayam came in from the back. Father, I got an order for the Hill of Snakes. It shouldn't take that much. As she waved towards Jiraiya, I should pass by and see Kuro too. They got the boy a statue as well, in Konoha, and Jiraiya stopped as someone came in and sat down on a seat that was reserved. That seat is taken, said Toki as he looked towards a man who looked quite menacingly, with a large sword in his back. As Jiraiya narrowed his eyes, he was going to make him move after all. No one is supposed to sit there, but the man just got up and moved. As he sat down towards the other side. If it isn't Jiraiya the Sani, half of the man's face was covered in bandages, lower half. Why would Zabuza of the Mist be all the way up here? I met a man during my travel. He challenged me and my apprentice to a fight, and we both lost. Next thing I know, he was bringing us back to the Mist, where they wanted us back, to forgive us. And now I'm here escorting the Kira ambassador to the Raikage. That man was something else. And why are you telling me this? Asked Jiraiya. Well, for one thing, he fought with forbidden snake techniques. And the other thing was, it wasn't Orochimaru. Who could it be? Said Zabuza. I thought you would like the info. I'm a reformed shinobi after all. As his ramen arrived, see ramen that he ordered. Well, he had to be a strange shinobi indeed, Jiraiya said, as he saw a purple kunoichi. Midarashi-san, he said, as he paid for his ramen. As he made his way towards her, as Uncle had a kunai in one hand and a shuriken in one, as she turned and threw them both at Jiraiya, who caught them. The toad pervert, what do you want? I ain't going to the bath with you in town. She then looked towards the flower bouquet in his hand, her gaze and saddened. Please, it's important, said Jiraiya. Do you know anyone, except for Orochimaru, she tends at that knows snake techniques? Not you, someone else, a man. Hey Zabuza, what was his description? I don't know, said Zabuza as he paid for his ramen. He was covered in a black and white cloak that hid all of his features. I know he was a man by the way he spoke. He had snakes from his arms and the ground, and his back as well. Before I could even switch the water clone, he'd catch me. With nothing but pure speed. If he wanted to, I would have been dead the next second. No, it can't be him. It can't be him, said Uncle. No, as she couldn't think of anyone else. I will know one other person. But he's dead, yeah, I know, said Uncle. But there is no one else. Not to mention, to make the snakes come from her back. The only one that I saw do that before, not even Orochimaru, was the boy in the match against Hyuga. But he's dead, so it has to be someone else. Maybe Zabuza just saw wrong. As she walked off, "I have to go now," she said. As Uncle remembered when she had arrived, she had brought so much dango. She was gonna spoil him fat. She didn't know that there was a dango stall in Kumo as well, so she had come prepared for the long winter. She had reached Raikage's office with all of her dango, but instead the Nibi Jinchuriki took her for a walk. She saw the woman's eyes. They were dead. It was like there was no sign of life in them. She had laughed. She had laughed when the woman had told her that Naruto was kidnapped once again, because she wouldn't believe it, because something like that wouldn't happen. Not again, she had laughed. He was fine and he would be wherever he lived here, and he would now have two sisters, fussing over him. But she had been wrong. The princess of Frost Country, Koyuki, had been devastated, as she had sent out her people to search, and after a month she found something. A cave, a well-hidden cave. There was a corpse inside that was bloody and destroyed. Whoever put him there was someone who placed him under heavy bindings. Uncle told him that that bloody 14 or 15-year-old thing on the ground, that was rather creepy. It couldn't be him. She had assured them. She then saw the crib nearby, and Yujito broke down and started to cry as she called out his name, Naruto. As Uncle finally broke and realized that it was him, she had drank her sorrows away, alone or with the Nibi Jinchuriki. Even the Raikage drank as well. No, there was no longer a bundle of joy for her, and the corpse had been buried. That was where she was going when Toad Sage had stopped her. It was her daily routine. First she went to the tomb, then she went to work, then she went to eat dongos near the tomb, then she went back to work, then she ate dinner near the tomb. She talked to him, kind of hoping that he would pop up and say, "Come on, just let me rest in peace." Now she needed more sleep before going to his tomb. What if he was still alive? But the blood test, the DNA test, it was his. So it wasn't him. Meanwhile, somewhere, it was cold. It had been cold for some time now. No, it was bugging him. He hated the cold. His hands, in black and white gloves, the wind had brought their scent towards him, and there was no way that he would let them go. As he watched a strange food juice seal in front of him, as he narrowed his eyes, at the first point it was normal, a normal seal, but when you look closer you would see the underlying ceiling. There was 17 points to be exact. The rock in front of him was just a barrier. He could feel the two men behind it, going along with their work. Their work was something that he would not let go unpunished. He hissed, because talking was something that he used rarely. A white snake came out of his trench coat and hissed back to him. As he placed hand on the seal, as he started to tinker with it, it was easy when you could see the chakra inside the seal, when it was shimmering around, when it was twisting, when it was turning. The rock then slipped open, and he was met with two persons. One had a sight, with slicked back silver hair, with his Akatsuki clothing open at the chest, that strange medallion around his neck. The other one didn't seem to have weapons. That meant that he was more dangerous. He was taller, green eyes, a mask hiding the lower half of his face, and the Akatsuki clothing hiding most of his body. Taki, forehead protector with a slash through it. Laying on the ground was Yujito. She was badly beaten, but she was still alive. As the two turned to look at the intruder, as they had sensed him, but they thought it would take him more time to break through. Time they could finish at least. "Who are you?" the one with the green eyes asked, as the man removed his hood, as he looked to be 26 or 25. He had no whisker marks, but he had dark, blue eyes, borderline purple. His hair was red, stained with blonde, splashes here and there. Black and white scales were on his cheek. His forearms changed into snakes, one black and one white. As he was tall as him. "I've not seen you in the bingo book, I don't know who you are. So why come all this way just to die?" "Well, it doesn't matter," he said as he shot forward, swinging his sight as the snakes moved back, as he ripped into the man, who poofed away. Foul words coming from your mouth. As he swing his sight behind him, the man ducked as Kakazu appeared. A brutal kick that he was about to slam into the man's skull, but snakes came from his sleeve, forcing Kakazu back. As the snakes opened their mouth, swords came out of their mouth. Kakazu raised his hand that changed color as he clashed with the blades. As he swing his sight downwards, as he ripped into the man that poofed away once again. "Damn it! You coward, get out here!" Hidan, grab the woman, I'll cover you, said Kakazu. Something was off about this person. As his stitches that usually get his limbs attached, they came undone. Jashin-sama wants his head, and one of them has to be real, as he saw another one popped up over the finger, and another one over to the side. As Hidan moved forward towards the closest one, who ducked under his sights, Hidan saw as several snakes came from his sleeve. As they fired kunais out of their mouths that stabbed into Hidan, who simply laughed. Doesn't matter what you do, I'm immortal and you can't kill me. Lightning release. Jienten to Kakazu, as he fired a bolt of lightning towards one of the clones that was going towards the woman. The black snake then acted as it released a torrent of wind that canceled out the lightning attack. As the white snake then released a massive fire breath. Kakazu turned his skin black because the thing was too near. As the fire charred his clothes but not him, because his body got hardened. The man frowned angrily as he had 4 masses on his back, the stitches all over him, like he was some kind of puppet. Hey, I think you stitched another one right there. The white snake teased Kakazu. I mean, that small? Are you kidding me? Hush, Yami-chan. The bad boy is unable to stand to attention. It must have hurt to stitch through it, the black snake said as the two of them were belittling Kakazu, as Hidan was facing off against a clone. While one of the others, probably the real one, went over to the image jinchuriki and went through hand sign before slamming his hand down. And they all vanished, including the image jinchuriki that he was holding onto. Damn it! This is all your fault. Now we have to find her once again, said Kakazu in anger. Jashin-sama wants them dead. I had to act, said Hidan. Screw Jashin. The boss will be angry. Me? It was your fault, you damn bastard. And what's your mouth about my lord? It was your fault for being incompetent. It was clear the real one was at the cave entrance. Yet you went after the damn clones, said Kakazu in anger. Hidan cursed quietly, as Kakazu was his partner, not to mention he was the only one that can stitch him back together when his limbs got chopped off. Time skip. Yujito slowly opened her eyes. She recalled fighting with all of her might on the beach to give her squad time to run away. Shinkansen was to run towards the village. She hoped they were fine. Hiyori could hide in plain sight now. And Mogiru, he was a walking hulk of strength and metallic claws. She was proud of them, but she wouldn't say it out loud, because she would lose them too, to war, to kidnappers, or something else. Anything she loved always get taken away. She saw the ceiling above her. It looked like a cave. She felt like she wanted to puke as she remembered the body 3 years ago. Blood. Guts. And she wanted to puke remembering who the body belonged to. She had failed him again. She should have kept on searching, but no. She did not. And it was already done by the time they got there. He had died alone in the cave, smashed under all that weight. As the cave was extracted from him, he was all alone. He was probably scared, afraid, alone. She had tried her best to fight those guys off, but when they wouldn't die, she realized that it was probably her time. So she gave up, because probably she would see her Naruto in the other world. But then why was there pain? Pain was a thing of the living, not the dead. Was this hell? Was it because she cursed Kami so much for taking away her little brother? And she started to cry. She heard something beside her. She could barely feel her body. Pain was shooting all over her. She had to stand up as she saw someone back. A tall man is back. He had reddish hair with blonde stripes. He had a strange black and white mantle that said Sage. The man hissed for a moment as he continued to cook on the campfire. She had no idea what time it was. How long has she been knocked out? I asked you a question, the man said. Huh? Said Yujito. Oh, I asked in instinct tongue, right? Too much time without context as he turned to show his purple eyes. In this dim lighting, it looked purple. His face seemed hard and tough. For someone who looked like they were just 25 years old. He wore the same pattern. It was like black and white sneaks. And he was wearing a shirt underneath it, under his jacket. His trousers seemed black. You want human contact? I'm not thanking you with that, she said. You misunderstood, the man said. I was just without human contacts. It was all hisses. His right hand had scars on it. It looked like he was bitten several times. I see. Well, I'm sorry, she said. If you bring me back to Kumo, I'm sure the Raikage will reward you somehow. My medical ninjutsu is a bit rusty, but you should be able to walk by tomorrow. Jinchurikis, huh? They have great regeneration powers. So he knew what she was. You seem to know me, but I don't know you. I am no one in particular, but I'll bring you back unscathed, unharmed, if you don't query my name further. Fine, she said, as her stomach then rumbled. She was rather hungry. Your stomach is severely injured. I have broth. Anything else you would puke it out. As the man reached for her head and lifted up. As he made her drink the warm soup, it was tasty. As he then placed her head back down on the cushion. Cushion? What's my head resting on? She asked. That will be a part of me. Hey, I'm Hikari. A black snake said towards her, as it looked towards her with golden eyes. Kuro? And she thought it was Kuro for one moment. Do you know Kuro? As he looked just like him. The snake looked towards the man. As the man handed the snake a bowl, the snake just started to eat without saying anything. Hey, aren't you gonna answer my question? She asked. No. The man said calmly. You know I should thank you for saving my life. But you're making this quite difficult, she said. Can you at least tell me what date it is? She can't be late for his birthday. It's the 1st of October, the man said. 9 days until the beast was born, he said. She narrowed her eyes dangerously. Are you referring to the day the Kyuubi Jinchuriki came alive? She asked. Maybe. She had gotten it wrong or something. No, only him. He was a monster after all. Her gaze turned murderous. You can go, she said. I'll manage to get back to Kumo alone. Because if she had the strength, she would get up and punch this man in his face. Even though he saved her, no one talk about Naruto like that. The man laughed. What's so damn funny? She asked. I'm bringing you back to Kumo because I want to challenge the waterfall of truth. And you are my ticket of doing so. Oh, I see. And you think the Raikage would accept? Well, I did save you. What was it? Wanting to meet that monster once more. She jolted up, but she dropped back down in pain. As she was out cold, her body couldn't handle the stress of moving. Sleep well, Yujito-chan, he said. As his hands started to glow green. Are you sure this is the way you want to do things? Hikari asked. Less questions, more work. If I reveal myself now, they will tie me down. Probably. I can't yet. She didn't recognize me. I've changed so much, he said. Your kindness remained the same. The white snake Yami slippered in. While she sleep and you sleep, I'll keep watch. Thanks, Yami, the man said, as he placed his head down on another section of the black snake. He still had too much to do before revealing himself. Too much to do. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want the next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to be posted. But more for now, see you guys soon. Peace.